census tells us not only about our past, but it can help us prepare for our future. So, how do we know about our nation? To better understand where we came from, let's take a look back at what America was like during the first census. It's 1790, and New York is the capital. George Washington has given the first State of the Union address. The Supreme Court of the United States convenes for the very first time. The men and women are wearing stylish fashions. And James Madison and Thomas Jefferson, who helped to craft the Constitution and mandate that a census of the population be conducted every 10 years, are drafting the questions to be asked in the first census. Madison felt it imperative to understand the interest and makeup of each community in order to determine the proper provisions and best meet the needs of the people. And because of this, Madison believed that occupational skills should be documented as part of the first census. By knowing the number of people living throughout the country, the government made sure each state had proper representation, giving voice to the people. Because of the importance of the data, Congress mandated a $20 fine for those refusing to participate in the census. In a country that stretched nearly 900,000 square miles, it was difficult to count every man, woman, and child. There were physical obstacles, and the people were resistant, fearing a census meant new taxes. But our founding fathers saw the importance of getting an accurate count and had the foresight to see what it meant then and what it would mean in the future. There were only about 4 million people living in the United States then, with half of them under 16 years old. The majority of the population was clustered along the Atlantic coast. These pioneers laid the foundation for the culturally rich and ethnically diverse country we have today. In 1790, the economy was just a shadow of the industries, companies, and organizations we now have. Back then, there were fewer than 100 newspapers in the entire country and only 3 banks. But we were on the verge of tremendous growth and expansion, a growth that would need to sustain a society with changing needs and industrial and technological advancements. As our country expanded, so did the way the census was conducted, with new questions being added to mirror the changing times. In 1810, questions on manufacturing were included. 1820 introduced questions about occupation. In 1830, we see the first questions about people with disabilities. These types of questions are now seen in the American Community Survey, which has been an integral tool in supplementing the once-a-decade census by providing yearly statistics on a wealth of topics. The answer to these questions are just as important now as they were then, providing us with data that impacts and supports our changing needs. And the best way to identify these needs is through a detailed description of our population, understanding how many of us there are, who we are, how we get around, where we work, how much we earn, where we live. The answers to these questions inform the decisions we make in order to address and meet the demands of our growing communities and country. Over the past century, the Census Bureau surveys have evolved to meet the changing needs of the country. Our founding fathers knew that with a country as new, diverse, and advanced as ours, putting the proper methods in place to ensure political representation and capture these ever-changing needs would surely be one of the greatest tools they could bestow upon us. By continuing to measure the country through its censuses and surveys, the Census Bureau fosters the goals set in place by our founding fathers, and this is how we know about our nation. The Census Bureau, measuring America's people, places, and economy.